Hello and welcome to Titanium Taurus Tarot, and today I will be doing a video on how to strengthen your intuition. Alright, so I got the idea last week. I let it percolate in my mind and I am going to talk about it now. So this is for anybody who watches this at any time, from anywhere. And yeah, so if you guys have any topics you'd like me to cover, please post them in the box below and it'll be my pleasure to go deeper into it. Now this week, well actually last week, I watched this video and it was very helpful. And I was like, hey, I can use all this and it's very great. I really adored it. I liked it. I even commented. And it was a video from Living the Dream. Alright, so I will share the link in the description box below. And I just want to say that I took some of his things and I actually worked on some of the other things as well to make up, like to take his subject but also add in my little flavor. Alright, so first and foremost, he talks about believing the fact that you can strengthen your intuition, that you do have an intuition, okay? Because if you don't believe it, it will just go to waste. And he is absolutely true, because whatever you think about, whatever you believe, you creates your reality. So if you believe that you can't meditate, or if you believe that you cannot do something, if you believe you cannot pass a grade because of XYZ, that is exactly what is going to happen. But if you believe that you can do it, that you believe that it might take some time, but you are going to see it through the end, it will happen. Right? So that is basically what I wanted to say about believing it in regards to your intuition. But it's not just your intuition. It works on everything. And that is how powerful a being you are. You are so powerful. You are basically a carbon copy on a smaller scale of God. You do not have a power to control the universe completely in its entirety or create it, but you can control your universe, which is your life. And I mean, that for some people it's kind of like explosions in their mind, which is fine. But once you go down this rabbit hole, as he's talked about in his video, you will definitely become to realize these things. They'll just start popping up and you'll start realizing your patterns, and you start realizing what you're doing and what you can do better, and how you affect your own reality. Okay, that is one. And I just thought of this, which is not only I believe, not that I believe, but I know, okay, that what you speak aloud or in your mind has a gigantic effect on you, okay? Because number one, when you think a thought, that is an electrical current that goes through your mind, that goes through your nervous system, and it goes out into your muscles. Now, in your muscles, what does it meet up with? Water. What is your body made up of? 70% water. And what is water but a very conductive element? And what is electricity but electricity going through what? Well, what is electricity? It's like an energy. So when electricity goes through water, it literally affects every single part of it. Okay, I might be generalizing and simplifying, but that is basically how I think. So your thoughts and emotions and feelings, well, feelings are emotions, but they have a very big impact on how you feel, what you put out into the world, what you put out in the universe, everything. Okay, so everything is connected. And I know for some people it might seem like I have a very chaotic way of seeing things, but that's just because I have a very holistic way of viewing everything in its entirety. Alright, now another thing that he talked about is going into nature, and I concur 100%. Okay, I live very close to nature. I do. and I always make it a habit of trying to go out when I went to an intensive class in university. We went to like the north of Quebec, and we were out in the wilderness. We're living in cabins, but in the wilderness. I mean, we had a lake, we had like bonfires at night, we had all that stuff, you know. We had like times where we were outside at night walking, looking at the starry skies. We were canoeing sometimes. It was amazing. All right. So, but you connecting with nature does wonders. All right. You connecting with animals, you connecting with insects, you connecting with anything. It just allows you to connect to the matrix. It connects you to everything that is. It connects you to the planet. And part of that, okay, is that when you become attuned with nature, all right, what that does is that it actually sends you signals. Like, imagine, like, I know from time to time, feel the humidity in my bones. All right, that's because I was in a car accident. I broke some of my bones were broken, and so by ipso facto, I have this thing that I feel every single time there's like a ton of humidity, but not all the time. Sometimes someone else feels it, but that's neither here nor there. What I'm trying to say is when you connect to the universe, you'll just know. For example, like people, sailors know that when there's going to be a storm. Sailors know. Seagulls know. Animals know. Animals know when there's like big events happening, right? Like a volcano will erupt, animals will oddly disappear from the place, you know. How do they know that? Because they are connected to nature, right? Why? I don't understand why we need machinery to tell us that. If we were connected to nature just as much as animals were, we would know. We would just know. No, and we would be able to take the necessary measures in order to stay alive, just like animals do. So that's my little tidbit on that. And believe me, I remember this one night at night, when we were out at night during that camping trip. At night, while we were canoeing back to our campsite, the night sky was so clear and so filled with stars because there are no lights, like close, no city lights. So it was like incredible. Every inch of the sky was covered in stars. I spent the whole trip back, on my back, looking at the sky, looking at the stars. I just loved it. That's just me. Now, so the next big thing, which I can concur, would be, I'm not sure if I'm using the right terminology, but well, it's cutting out electronics for a little bit of time. It's like an electronic fast, if you will. You know, being able to cut yourself off of internet, Wi-Fi. Well, Wi-Fi is internet, but whatever. You know, those waves. You might not feel it consciously, but subconsciously it affects you a lot. You know, yes. So being able to cut that out makes a huge difference. Now, another thing that he was talking about in his video were amethysts. Now, he did not mention this. I don't know if he knows, but different color amethysts have different properties. Okay, so this is a dark purple amethyst. Now, dark purple amethyst helps you with foresight, helps you see the future, helps you know what is coming, helps you be more attuned to what to expect. Then you have baby purple amethyst. Well, baby purple, like light amethyst. Yes. This helps you with insight. Okay, this helps you to know yourself better. I don't know if you're seeing that this is lighter. Yeah. Notice new, light, dark. Yeah. See, you can see through, kinda. This one you can't. It's like it's opaque. Opaque. It's more like French, which is opaque. Anyway. So those two, as I said, one helps you with foresight, the other with insight. And being able to see what is coming towards you is very helpful. Yes, there is another way of doing that, but I'm going to talk about that a little later. Then there's also meditation through movement that he was talking about. He didn't actually specifically say meditation through movement, but he talked of meditation through walking. That's his way of doing it. I used to do it by meditation through Tai Chi. And the whole point is to shut your mind off, to make it stop. Like, I know every morning I meditate a lot. I meditate like about 30 minutes if I can. But I can assure you that I spend most of that time thinking aloud to myself. And that doesn't necessarily help. But when I know that when I do meditation through movement, it helps a ton. So if you find yourself having difficulty shutting your mind off, maybe thinking of that, like dancing. Because I remember I wrote my first paper in university was about meditation through, or just actually being in the zone and like silent. No, it was actually about silence and its importance to our development. And I remember one of the parts of that paper was talking about meditation through movement. So it could be Tai Chi, it could even be like to the nth degree, it could be dance, like professional dancing, where you repeat something so often that it becomes a part of you. You no longer have to think about what it is you're doing. Getting in the zone, synchronized swimming would be like meditation through dance, but it would be like being in sports. That could be a part of meditation. Meditation, the whole point of meditation is being able to cut one of your senses out. One of your senses. So it could just be concentrating on your breath. It could be like concentrating on one single focal point. It could be about things of that nature. When you take out your mind, like you no longer think, or generally people relate meditation to not thinking. Let me just say that is difficult to do. But I prefer meditation through movement. I should actually get back to that at some point, though that's neither here nor there. The next one he mentioned is about aligning your chakras. Okay, so that all 7 of your main chakras can work in sync together. And now what that does, okay, is that it helps all aspects of you to connect. And the way that it works is that the more you have chakras open, the better the way he explained it was that the more I think that you should have all chakras open, which is true, you should, so that you can have a more global understanding of how you should go through life. Now I know that my crown is white, my crown chakra, because I had someone look at my chakras and see the colors, and she said my crown chakra was pure white. It was very open. I was like, okay, but some of my lower chakras were not. So I still have a few things to work out from that. But one of the ways that now I don't know if this has any is in any way, shape, or form relevant to this, but I have a ton of selenite in my room. I do. I just love that crystal. Okay, I use it to purify and cleanse pretty much anything. I put crystals on my decks. I put that crystal on my decks. I put stones next to it when I need to like purify them, and all that stuff. Let me just show you an example. This is selenite. I love selenite, and the reason why I love selenite is because it's an angelic crystal. It is, and so it could cleanse the space. It could cleanse you, like your aura and all that, right? Crystals, card decks, whatever. I mainly use it for my card decks. Okay, so another crystal that might help you with your intuition, because if you purify yourself, it helps, right? Next, what he talked of paying attention to your dreams. He didn't use that specific terminology, but he did talk of paying attention to your dreams. Now, I have something to add to that. Okay, yes, keeping a dream journal would help, but I personally cannot remember my dreams. Ever since my accident, I just can't. So the only way I can remember a dream is if it happens really early in the morning, right before I wake up, or, well, actually that's the only dream I remember. But the other thing that started to awaken within me is that the more I go down this route, the more I notice that the more I'm seeing visions. And the way I sense it, visions are like your subconscious mind talking to you, and your subconscious, even in your dreams, dreams are made up of metaphors, basically, and that's how your intuition speaks to you. It doesn't really tell you do this, do that, do that. It just tells you what's the word I just used? A metaphor. There you go. For example, I remember at some point I saw someone I saw someone that I knew on their deathbed. Not their deathbed, but as if I was at their funeral or their wake. I was at their wake and they were lying there in their coffin, but the vision that I got of their face was that they had this huge smile on their face. Now, I didn't know what to make of it because it was basically a metaphor. But after some thought about it, I realized that what that vision meant was that a cycle of that person was ending. And that ending of a cycle was going to make that person, well, not make that person, was going to help that person be joyful, over the moon with joy. It was going to help that person reach that point of happiness. Okay? So, being able to interpret your visions and your dreams is of utmost importance. And sometimes I've also had other visions that I've had to interpret, but remember, dreams and visions speak in metaphors. So the only difference between a dream and a vision is that you have a vision while you're awake. And I can tell you this, okay, it is weird. It is very weird to have a vision while you're awake and you're surrounded by people. It really is. I think I had a vision while I was actually filming something at some point. It was the oddest thing. I don't know what happened, but I think my eyes glazed over and I was like, oh. I'm pretty sure it was weird, but that's neither here nor there. So it's just being able to decipher the metaphor. Just remember deciphering metaphors. So even if you don't necessarily have visions at this moment, you can have a dream and you can interpret that dream. And at some point, okay, I had a dream and I went to and I remember I have a dream book somewhere here, and I went to that dream book to see what things meant from my dream. And I was like, well, I was reading it and I'm like, this does not make sense. This is not how I felt in the dream. No. As in, no. As in, what I mean to say is that I don't adhere to this. So then I made up my own. Because generally, your intuition is trying to tell you something. Your subconscious is trying to tell you something. So the way I see, actually, I'm gonna write that down. Hashtag dream interpretation. Subconscious. Okay. The way I see it, I was talking about dream interpretation, and so you can use that as like a guidepost, but you should not solely put yourself on that, because once you start becoming more comfortable with your intuition, and once you start utilizing it more, you will notice that some things just don't make sense to you. So you will have to make up your own interpretation or your own translation, because that is what dreams are. You know, your subconscious tells you things and you're like, what the? They're just translations. So basically how I see it is that like prophets and people who like prophets and mediums, we basically are translators of spirit. That's all we do. We're translators. Okay? Now, the last tip that he gave and that I absolutely abide by is practice. Absolutely practice to the end of to the end of your days. This is a muscle that you have to work and get stronger, get stronger, get used to, become stronger at. It's not something that, as he said, it's not something that you can do once and be an absolutely amazing at. Nay, you need to work it. You need to work it, girl or guy, whatever, right? It's something that is maintained. Just like any language that you do not speak for a while, okay? Your muscle will atrophy, just like any other muscle. It's a muscle. It needs to be worked. So, and you need to practice it. Practice it a lot. And all of these things come in handy. Okay, so keep it. If you are interested in strengthening your intuition, practice. Okay? So, my gorgeous collective, that is all that I have for you guys this week. If you like this and if you'd like me to go deeper into your specific situation, please contact me at the email in the box below, and it'll be my pleasure to assist. In that same box, you'll find a little description of this video and my price. Now, like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell to be notified when I post new stuff, as well as leaving me a comment, because I adore comments. I read them all. I might not answer all of them, but I absolutely read them all. And with that being said, my gorgeous and fellow watchers, or my gorgeous and fellow, I don't know, I can't really call you by, there's so many, my viewers, or my peeps, my empaths, my whatevers, my peeps, that's what I'm going to call you. So, and with that being said, my peeps, that is all that I have for you this week. And with that, I wish you all a very good week, and I say bye-bye now.